take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. It's time!
It's Sunday, September 5th, 2021. This is the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Mason Knight.
I'm Gideon DeMars.
And this is episode 89, Brunson versus Till recap. After that, we jump to some MMA news. No preview show this week, so this episode will be nice and short. Elephant in the room, or not in the room, is Tabor's not here this week. He is partying in Las Vegas. You know, I just went to Las Vegas, just came back. Tabor said, you know what, fuck, I would like to go to Vegas too. So he just planned a trip. So he's in Vegas, Arizona, doing things.
Doing whatever Tabor does in the desert.
In the desert, right.
That he's
Moabs,
a wild man, maybe
bikes,
cars, trucks,
drugs,
women.
Yep.
Yeah,
he's got to fix the trans.
Yeah, it's got a transmission in his truck problem.
Yep.
A lot of issues for Tabor down in the south.
Issues. Yeah. A lot of issues. All right. Well, let's talk about this. Let's jump into the Brunson versus Till recap. You just watched it again. We just watched it right before we got live recording here. What were your thoughts?
Honestly, we got to give Derek Brunson a tremendous amount of respect that we did not give him last week, that we did not give him after he beat Kevin Holland. I think it's time to just be honest and say Derek Brunson is the top contender in the middleweight division. I think he deserves the title fight. That was impressive. He dominated Darren Till.
Absolutely. Yeah, from start to finish, too. And, you know, Derek Brunson now won 5 straight fights in this middleweight division, being an underdog in every single one of those fights.
Which is truly crazy, especially the Kevin Holland fight where we might have got caught up in a little bit of the hype for Kevin Holland.
Yeah, I think so.
But this fight was incredible because the way he did it. Not only did he manhandle Darren Till. I mean, the ease that he got this takedown, the way he controlled him on the ground, it just felt like they were two different species of human. I mean, Derek Brunson is so strong to just be able to manhandle Darren Till like that on the ground.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's Derek Brunson's winning streak since 2019. He beat Ian Einish, Martin Day. He beat Edmund Shabazian, which was a really impressive win. Because remember, that was when Shabazian was on the up and up.
Yep.
I believe at the time he was even undefeated. He has since lost another fight. But he was undefeated at the time. There's a lot of hype behind him. He's like 21 at the time. And Derek Brunson went out there and KO'd him in the 3rd round. And then you move to 2021. Obviously, the last-minute replacement, Kevin Holland comes in. And Derek Brunson absolutely dominates him. And now, Darren Till being a top prospect, a top contender in this middleweight division, Derek Brunson did the exact same thing to him, absolutely dominated Till, took him down, beat him up, and then submitted him in the 3rd round. Again, as you just said, we got to start putting some respect on Derek Brunson's name. You got to start recognizing him. And I think with this impressive win streak, outside of Robert Whittaker now getting that shot, that rematch with Israel Adesanya, the winner of that fight should most certainly take on Derek Brunson. I see no one else in the middleweight division who deserves it more than Derek Brunson at this point. Agree or disagree?
I agree. I would say if that fight, so what was said was Ariel Helwani said, I think after the fight, that fight wouldn't happen until 2022. Robert Whittaker, Israel Adesanya. Yeah. If that's the case, and we're not going to get to 2022, is there a way to just sneak Derek Brunson in there beforehand? Look, I don't want to wait. I feel like Izzy's been kind of sitting on his hands since the Jan Blachowicz thing. And then, he fought Marvin Vettori, which I forgot because Vettori won that fight. Won that fight. Yeah, so maybe they got to run that one back first.
Oh, they absolutely got to run that one back. It was razor thin.
Razor thin.
I really thought Marvin won.
Yeah, we had it all scored for Marvin, 50-45. Yeah, so
craziest thing.
We are joking, by the way. Do not blow us up. This is
absolutely joking.
My point is I just feel like Derek Brunson shouldn't have to wait after this, especially if Izzy's ready to go. We don't know if he is. I just would like to see Derek Brunson be active. Yeah. And I don't know if the UFC is going to let him sit and wait for a title shot. So either he fights Izzy at the end of this year because that December card still needs some filling out, Or he waits till what? Maybe, let's say, because the Robert Whittaker-Izzy fight, let's say it happens in January.
Probably January.
He has to fight. He would wait till next April. So he'd be out for 7 months?
Yeah, and I also believe Costa versus Vettori is somewhat confirmed at this point, too. So you already have that matchup. So the only other guy that he could potentially fight is Jared Cannonier coming off that Kelvin Gastelum win for the #1 contender. But, you know, I think at this point, I've seen everyone fight Izzy, and I think Derek Brunson, out of all of these guys, deserves the next shot. I mean, Marvin Vettori just had him. Paulo Costa got embarrassed. Robert Whittaker getting his second crack. You know, you could make a case for Jared Cannonier, you know, but again, I don't know. Derek Brunson, for me, biggest win streak, and a UFC vet, man, and a guy a lot of people thought would never get to that championship level.
I think I said that last week on the pod that I don't think he can reach that level.
And that's what a lot of people thought.
We were wrong. So he deserves it. That's the thing. He's earned the right. And that's I think that's the negative on a lot of these guys. If Paulo Costa beats Marvin Vettori, would you say he earned the right to get another shot? I don't think I would. I mean, I would like to see Paulo fight another guy, maybe Jared Cannonier down the line. I think out of these group of contenders, Whittaker makes sense. You have to do the rematch. And then after that, it has to be Brunson. I would just like to see Derek Brunson be more active. The whole problem is, especially with the UFC, they always fucking do this. Hey, you're next in line, but you got to fight so-and-so.
Yeah, but he has been active. He's fought twice in 19, twice in 2020, and now, you know, already taken on a fight in 2021. So.
My thing is, do you think Dana's going to let him wait till next April to fight Izzy? Or and here's the other thing.
No, I don't.
There's a chance he gets skipped over. There just is. We can have that argument. Like, if Paulo Costa absolute starches, and we had this conversation a little bit off air, but I want to bring it back up here. Yeah. If Paulo Costa comes out and starches Vettori, and especially it's a big fight card that's going to be a 5-round main event, I think, for one of the October or November fight cards. Right. I don't know when exactly that is, but I assume it's a 5-round main event. If he comes out and starches Vettori, he's going to have an argument too. So the sooner you do this, the better if you're Derek Brunson.
Yeah, you know, if I were Derek Brunson, though, I mean, he makes the best case for the next shot. In my personal opinion, in being an MMA purist, a guy who can literally beat the best of the best in this division and still, you know, obviously Darren Till, top of the line. What was he, 7 in the rankings? So, I mean, I don't know, dude. At this point, I just want to see Derek Brunson fight for the belt. I think he deserves it. And it's kind of the same storyline as Glover Teixeira, right? Where you keep counting him out over and over and over again, yet he keeps beating these top contender guys, you know? Edmund Shabazian is a psycho in the best way possible at 21, 22 years old when he fought him. And he completely outclassed Shabazian, whooped his ass, you know? And then a guy like Darren Till, where a lot of people think Darren Till will be a future champ one day, you know? And then just to go out there, completely outclass him, completely outclass Kevin Holland. I know that's not as impressive just because Kevin Holland's not ranked. But let's keep in mind, there was a fucking ton of hype behind Kevin Holland after that Jacare Souza knockout.
Well, he knocked him out from his back. He deserved all that hype. And Derek Brunson absolutely steamrolled him, and it didn't rub off on him. Look, Derek Brunson also gives Izzy, I think, a stylistic matchup that I don't think he's prepared for. Not prepared for, but something he hasn't really gone against. This type of wrestler, his type of grappling ability, this ability to just drag you down to the mat and absolutely beat the shit out of you. He's so strong on the ground. Obviously, Izzy would piece him up on the feet. We saw Kevin Holland's land good strikes. Darren Till, in just the first minute of round 1, he landed a lot of good shots, a lot of good combos. But as soon as that fight goes to the ground, like, Derek Brunson could be a real problem for Izzy. If he goes out and he just manhandles him, there's a good chance Derek Brunson could win that fight. Like, Izzy has to stop him.
Yeah, no, I totally agree there. And that was the thing, too, with Derek Brunson, because he did face adversity in this fight. Darren Till did catch him with that left hand, wobbled him. But again, it did not matter for Derek Brunson. And he did it perfectly, man. He would go for that double. He'd connect his hands, and then he'd pull him out as he's turning, which every single time he did that, it was a takedown.
Yep, he got him every time.
There was nothing Till could do about it. And that's the difference with Brunson's ground game there. So I'd love to see that matchup stylistically against Israel Adesanya, because I don't know if Adesanya would be able to have good enough defense in order to stop those takedowns.
Not to this level, because look, even Darren Till, I would say, has decent takedown defense. I think Robert Whitaker, I don't think Robert Whitaker shot a whole bunch on him, but the times he did, I think Darren Till had a decent takedown defense. He looked like a child. He didn't even look like he should have been in there. Like, Darren Till looked too small to be fighting Derek Brunson. Yeah. The strength, his ability to just drag him down to the canvas was terrifying if you're in the middleweight division. Derek Brunson's so strong. I want to see it, but I do think they're going to make him fight Jared Cannonier first. I just don't know if he's going to wait. I just don't see him waiting 7 months, and if he does wait 7 months, there's always that possibility that you get jumped. If you beat Jared Cannonier on the same card that Izzy fights fucking Robert Whitaker, if you beat Jared Cannonier, then it's an easy shot. Like, you definitely next. You have to have the next title shot.
Yeah.
But it just sucks that he might have to be forced in that situation. Yeah. Enough about Derek Brunson. Where do we go with Darren Till?
You know what matchup I'd love to see? Darren Till versus Kelvin Gastelum.
That would be a fucking fight. Yep. Was that fight supposed to happen already?
I think at one point, yeah.
I thought that was supposed to happen already. Somebody got pulled out. I think it might have been Till that had to pull out on that one. That would be a good fight. Look, Darren Till's still a young, up-and-coming contender. He still has a very bright future in the UFC. He's stumbling.
Oh, yeah, no, that fight already happened in 2019.
Oh, it already
That's
happened.
right. It was a co-main for UFC 244.
Oh.
Till won by decision.
Okay.
But again, I'd like to see that matchup again.
It's just for Darren Till right now. I think Tabor said it in the chats. A Kevin Holland Darren Till fight, just to give Darren Till somebody that's not necessarily ranked. Give him I don't want to say an easy win, but a fight that's winnable for him to get him back on the right path. Look, Darren Till has a very bright future. He has a very high ceiling. He could easily be a middleweight champion. It's just going to take some time. A lot of these guys, it takes some time.
And I feel the same way about Kelvin Gastelum, too.
Very true.
And it's just one of those guys that literally fights elite competition every single fight, but has been on the wrong side of quite a few fights now. I think Darren Till dropping 4 of his last 5. Kelvin Gastelum in the same boat. I think 4 of his last 5. But these are still top contenders that put on great fights, great performances, and are high caliber athletes. So,
well, that's the Darren Till thing. He's just lost to so many good guys. You can't blame him for losing to Robert Whitaker. You can't blame him for losing to Derek Brunson. These are guys that are the highest of highs for the middleweight division. You're not losing to guys in 9s and 10s. You're losing to the guys who are fighting for the title next.
2, 3, 4, 5.
So I don't think this ruins Darren Till's stock. He's still easily markable, but for all the Brits on this card, he definitely had the worst night.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's move on to this heavyweight co-main event. Tom Aspinall and Sergey Spivak. This one did not last too long. Tom Aspinall coming in as the heavy favorite. I really just this guy knows how to strike. He's got a lot of power. He's a fast-moving heavyweight, and I knew that Spivak was not going to have what it took to be able to stand in there and bang with Tom Aspinall. Aspinall goes out there, gets a KO in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. What'd you think about this one, Gids?
Holy shit. Tom Aspinall, it has some power behind him. This dude throws with malice. This guy is a fighter. This guy's going to be one of the most fun heavyweights to watch as he comes up. This guy's style is exactly what you want to see at heavyweight. He is not a guy that's going to let it go to the judges. He comes out, he stands and bangs. I had a lot of church coin on Sergey Spivak. I felt like he was going to be able to go in there and be able to take him down, kind of wear him out, and it just did not matter. Tom Aspinall picked him apart. We didn't see a lot from him. I'd like to see him fight again soon.
Yeah.
I really would. A Tai Tuivasa fight.
I'd like that. That'd be a great matchup.
I think that's the fight.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think that's the fight for him because I think Tai Tuivasa's, 8 or 9? 7, he's around there. I think that'd be the perfect step up in competition for Tom Aspinall. But let's do it. Nothing like violence, heavyweight violence.
Absolutely. Tai Tuivasa. He's not even on this 15.
He's not even in the top 15?
No, he's not.
Okay, well, that's fucking weird. Didn't he just beat somebody who was in the top 15? Oh, well.
Augusto Sakai would be a good matchup.
Augusto Sakai is a good fight.
9. Yeah, or
okay
Marcin Tybura too. But Tybura, he deserves someone higher, man. That guy's won like 5 in a row.
Didn't Tai Tuivasa just beat?
Yeah, that's when Tabor did that shoey.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
I'm going to go through this real quick. So all three of us bet on Darren Till for the church coin bets. Tabor went all in. He put 4,569 church coin and lost that. I put 2,000. Gideon also put 2,000. So we lost on those. Now moving on to this Aspinall Spivak fight. Tabor put 100 church coin on Aspinall, got 36 church coin. I put 2,000 on Aspinall and won 727 church coin, and Gideon put 1,500 church coin on Spivak and lost that as well.
Yeah, I went 1 for 4 on this one. Not my best day.
No. This Andre Lipsky and Mandy Baum fight did not end up happening, so we will scratch this from our talking points. Let's move on to Alex Morono versus David Zawada.
Really good fight. I really like Alex Morono. I think he put on a good pace. I just like the fight in general. I thought David Zawada actually landed some good combos, but Alex Morono just looked like the better fighter.
Oh, and he outpaced him. He put together more combinations that were landing. And yes, Zawada did have his moments, but it was overwhelmingly Alex Morono.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just thought, in a fight like this, because I know it was 30-27 is what the judges gave it to him. I just thought David Zawada deserved a little bit of credit. I think it's one of those fights that I don't think either guy really loses steam. I thought David Zawada fought a good fight, but obviously Alex Morono was just the better fighter. I mean, his combinations were crisp. His footwork was good. He really kind of marched him down, especially in that third round. I thought it was a really good fight for Alex Morono.
Yeah, and coming in at the favorite too, getting the job done at a -180. So let's go into our church coin bets for this. Tabor put 100 on Zawada and lost that. I put 500 on Zawada and lost that. But in Gideon, you also had 250 on Zawada and lost that. So nice. We all lost that one. That was fun.
Yeah.
So this is the one I really want to talk about here. Modestus Bukakus versus Khalil Roundtree Jr. Wow.
You were on this one. This was the one that I had. Look, I don't want to say that I didn't have any faith in Khalil Roundtree, because obviously we've seen that power. We've seen his ability to just go in there and knock dudes dead. But I just thought that Bukakus was going to be such a more diverse striker. He would be able to pick him apart. What Khalil Roundtree went in there and did, he walked him down. He was aggressive. He landed big power shots right off the get-go in this fight. And then the way he stops it, are you fucking shitting me with the oblique kick to stop the fight?
Oh, God. Bro, that was... I have watched some pretty gruesome breaks in the UFC, and they normally don't bug me. But when it comes to knee shit like that, dude, when I keep replaying it in my head, and I get weak, man. Like, my stomach hurts. That shit was awful.
It was gross. You know what's even the best part is even DC was like, is it broken? Like, he didn't even want to look at the replay. He was asking Bisping on commentary, Mike, was it broken? I don't want to watch it. Is it broken?
After the second replay, I said, okay, I'm done. I don't need to watch this from a different angle. I'm fucking good on that, dude.
Hey,
those
UFC.
knee injuries.
Let's stop showing the injury 30,000 fucking times.
Bro, I it's part of the sport and I respect it. And like, I hope they continue to do that because it is part of the sport. But for me, man, after the second time for a knee injury like that, I'm like, I don't want to watch this any fucking more.
The Chris Weidman one, when they showed it the entire night through.
I know, dude. I was like, okay, enough.
Once was fine. Hey, let's see the replay. Let's get into it. Yeah. Maybe you show it one more time later on. That's all I fucking need. I don't need to watch this dude's legs split. Yeah. For Khalil, this was a great fight, though. Mason, you were the only one who picked him, so go off. Let us know.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with Khalil Roundtree. He is one of those guys for me that I've watched for a very long time in the UFC. And I see so much potential in this fighter. I really do. A lot of his problems stem from just mentally. Like, mentally, is he there in the fight? You know, and like, he fought in 2019. He lost to Ian Cutelaba, right? So it took some time off, and then he came back. But, and also, Well, actually, let's go back before that. He fought Eric Anders. Eric Anders coming back from Thailand that he went over there and trained. I saw a Khalil Roundtree that I was so impressed with.
Yeah.
I remember the leg kicks. I remember how fast he looked, how vicious he looked. I was just like, wow, this is incredible. And then, this Ian Cutelaba fight, it's a huge deal, right? It's Ian Cutelaba. And these guys are going to throw. And I just didn't see anything from him. He got KO'd back in 2019. Took the whole year off in 2020, and then comes back and fights Merson Prochinio. Loses by decision. And for whatever reason, it's weird for me, Khalil, and where he is mentally, because sometimes when he's in there, I think he's a great fighter. He really shows that he could be potentially a top contender in this division. And then there's other times he goes in there and I'm like, what in the hell is going on? Trust yourself. But interestingly enough, after this fight, he said, you know what? He got on the mic. He said, I'm not living in fear anymore. I'm a fighter. I'm facing my fears head on in here, and I'm just going to go in there. And, basically, I feel like he really has the warrior spirit now. This guy's still only 31 years old. He's got plenty of time, and I really do think he's facing his demons head on. And I think potentially in 2 or 3 years, this guy could be a top contender in the light heavyweight division. Give this man some time. I think he's special. Because, dude, those combinations, how fast he was throwing, I can't believe for a light heavyweight, dude, this guy throws like he's a welterweight.
Well, and the power behind those shots.
Oh, my God, they're scary.
I mean, just the malice. Every time he throws, you're like, this could put somebody out.
How about
even
that?
His jabs, you're just like, are you shitting me with a jab?
How about that fucking leg kick in the first round? Instantly, you saw Bukakus' leg
immediately
just
switches
swell.
stance. It's crazy how powerful this dude is. And here's the thing. The hardest part about Khalil Roundtree, especially picking his fights, is you just don't know which one's showing up. Because we've seen flashes of that power, of that aggression, where he just marches dudes down. And you're like, this dude, when he's on, you're just not getting out of there.
No.
And then you've seen the other side where he's timid. He's not pulling his... Everything's a little bit slow. He doesn't look like he trusts himself. This is the Khalil Roundtree. If this guy fights every week, I could easily see this dude taking on a top 10 contender and going to war.
Yeah.
Going to war. So, with that being said, Mace, what do you think Khalil Roundtree goes from here? Well, who do you think he should fight next? Because the light heavyweight, it used to be a kind of a dead division, but we got some dudes in here.
Yeah, it's really not. And I don't even know, just because of his spotty record over the last 3 years, I don't know if you would even give him a top 15 guy. I mean, 15 right now is Jamal Hill, and then 14 is Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute is a savage.
Yes,
man.
He
that kid is good. Yeah, he lost his last fight.
Well, he broke his leg. Yeah, I mean, that's not really on him.
But no, it's not. But, you got Misha Cirkunov at 13, Paul Craig at 12, Ryan Spann at 11. Ryan Spann's fighting Anthony Smith September 18th, not this coming week, but the week after. So, I mean, I don't even know if we throw him a top 15 guy yet.
What about the loser of Spann and Anthony Smith?
No,
is that still too high
for him? Way too high.
So,
I think the only guy you'd give him is Jamal Hill. That's literally.
I don't think that's a bad fight, though.
No, I don't think it's a bad fight at all.
I think the way he finished him, he deserves at least a top 15 guy. I don't think top 10. I think top 10, he might be a little out of his depth. But I do believe top 15. I think he's earned that. He's that exciting. I think he's got that power. He's also a guy who, if he is as good as we think he can be, or at least you think he can be, he's easily marketable.
When Jamal Hill, Khalil Roundtree, someone is going to sleep. That's what Hill does. He knocks people out.
And it could easily be it could be a good co-main for one of these ESPN cards, or a prelim main event for a huge, pay-per-view. I think that's a good fight, and I would like to see Khalil Roundtree again before this year is over.
All right, so let's go to churchcoin bets. Tabor put 100 on Bukakus and lost that. I put 2,000 on Roundtree and got a nice little return there at a plus 130. I got 2,600 churchcoin on the return there, and then you put 250 on Bukakus and lost that.
Shout out to Bukakus.
So let's move on to this fight, which opened up the card. It was Paddy Pimblett versus Luigi Vendramini.
Okay.
Vendramini.
I fucking love Patty the Batty. Tabor did not undersell him. This dude is every bit as crazy as he was sold to be.
For sure.
This dude went in there and fucking wanted to throw. He is a savage, and a savage at 155 that has 1,000 good fights for him lined up, waiting for him. The entire 155-pound division has 1,000,000 good fights for this dude. This couldn't be any better for the UFC. This guy is someone who is marketable. He's fun. He puts on good fights. You could throw him anywhere to anyone, and you know it's a barn burner.
Yeah.
I fucking love this dude. I cannot wait to see more of him. And, you know, it's that UK draw. I mean, if we ever get Big C, Little V over with, you know, we'd like to go to the UK, and this is the perfect guy to build your UK base around, especially with Darren Till kind of on the downward spiral. You know, eventually he'll start to pick it back up, but Patty the Batty is a guy that's easily marketable, especially to your UK audience.
For sure. You know, I really like Patty too, man, because this guy is fucking tough. And when he smells blood, he is going for the finish. And that's exactly what he did against Luigi. I mean, goodness gracious, this kid has got a lot of power. He's fast. He's dynamic. He's a great athlete. My only issue with Patty is throughout the fight, man, he really had his chin up in the air. And in the UFC, it's a different, and I know the commentator, it's not anything new. The commentators were talking about it, but it was so blatantly obvious. If you watch the fight, I think anyone could see that his chin was so far up in the air. So it's not like it's some revelation here. But at the same time, like, he's really, really got to work on that, man. Because you start fighting these top 15 guys in the lightweight division, it takes one shot. I don't care how good your chin is, man. If your chin is up in the air like that and it's not tucked and you get hit clean, you're going to sleep. So that is my only concern for Patty the Batty right now. And it seems something that would be so elementary in, like, as far as like boxing and striking. So it is kind of worrisome that his chin was so high up in the air that fight. But at the same time, like, the way he keeps his hands so low, like when he strikes, it's coming from a different angle that you don't even see it. And that's what he did. He just caught Luigi and then he just stormed him and just was relentless, did not let up until, you know, he fell on the ground and it was fight over. It was great performance, great outing. And yeah, this kid's going to be special, man. He's going to be special.
It's just so easily marketable. I will agree, though. I did notice that his chin was quite high at some times. Yeah. I also noticed that he definitely got that little bit of crazy in him where he's just going to flurry. So there are guys in the 155 that can knock you dead. Like, that's the scary thing. You got guys like Dustin, Justin Gaethje.
Well, how about this?
Dosanyo.
You don't even have to
crack.
Yeah, but you don't even have to go top 10.
No.
Rafael Fiziev at 13.
13.
This dude will fucking hit you. He will fucking hit your head clean off your body. Like, seriously, Rafael Fiziev is a savage, bro. Thiago Moises will knock your head off clean. So, like, with Patty the Batty, as good as he is, he's got to get better with that.
Yeah.
And he can't. I know he wants to go in there and get in a firefight.
He wants to be a wild man.
About hitting your opponent and not getting hit as much as possible. And that's the one thing that I see in his game that's a little concerning. If he could handle that, dude, this guy could be top 10, top 15. I really believe after that performance. Because I'd love to see this guy fight a guy like Gregor Gillespie.
Holy shit.
Brad Riddell, Diego Ferreira at 11, Rafael Fiziev at 13. I'd kill to see that. That fight would be insane. Even a Thiago Moises at 15.
Every fight in this division for this kid is a
fun.
banger.
Yep.
He's just so much fun to watch. Even with the chin up in the air, like, obviously there are some things he's got to work on in his game. But when it just comes to being a fan favorite, a dude that you know is going to go out there and just fucking go to work, I can't wait to see him fight again. And I hope, just like, you know, everybody else on this card, I'd love to see him fight before this year is over.
Same.
Because this dude is a guy you can put on any card, and you just know you've got a banger on there.
Well, and he definitely can fight before the year. You know, didn't take a lot of damage. It was a first round stoppage. So you know, you could even do December card, January card. You know, really stack this and make this kid marketable. So let's go to churchcoin bets here. Tabor put 1,000 on pimblett and won 666 churchcoin. And boy, does he need it at this point, folks. It is not looking good for that guy. He put 500 church coin and won 333. And then Gids, you did the same. He put 500 and won 333. So here are the new church coin totals. In third place on the very bottom of the list, the very, very bottom of this list, Tabor, 1,702 church coin. The sad, weak little score there. And I'm trolling him because he's not here. And then in second place, you have Gideon with 7,206 church coin. And that's real cute there in the middle. And then you've got me, Mason, with 13,482 church coin, just leading the charge, being the leader here, and just really making the right picks for the fights. So let's move on to the Contender Series Week 1 recap. All right, guys. So we promised we'd watch them. And that's the thing with me. I love Dana White's Contender Series so much more than I like The Ultimate Fighter. This is really fun. You get to see prospects come in. You win the fight, you get more than likely, and you win it decisively. You get a contract. You lose the fight. We'll try again in a couple of years, right? I love this format because it's just like that's literally what a fight is. Like, how bad do you want it? And I was really impressed with this week 1 of season 5 of the Contender Series. Did you get to watch the highlights for this?
So I saw only one fight. The only one I went and saw was the AJ Fletcher one. I heard he was a teammate of Dustin Poirier, and I heard the knockout was crazy. So I went through and searched it out this morning, and I saw AJ Fletcher with a flying knee stop Leonardo. That's the only one I saw. But just from that alone, I was like, holy shit, is this like what the Contender is about all the time? Because if so, I'm in. My whole thing with the Contender Series is I thought it was like Ultimate Fighter, where I was like, man, I ain't got fucking time to add more shit onto my plate.
It's just literally an extra. It's literally an extra fight card.
Yeah, which is sick, especially because all of these looked like they were decent fights.
They were all great fights, dude. Yeah, well, I'll jump into each one of these, but this AJ Fletcher kid, he is 9-0 now. Obviously got the Contender contract, right? So he is now a UFC fighter. This guy has been fighting since 2019 and has won 9 professional fights since 2019. That's insane. That's like 3 fights a year.
This dude's a savage. He's mowing through people. And to be training with Dustin Poirier, who's probably the best lightweight in the world, or one of the best lightweights in the world, can't hurt.
No.
Can't hurt at all.
When AJ Fletcher initially wanted to, go play college football, wasn't able to do that, and then started training and actually transferred from LSU to Lafayette, some college in Lafayette, started training mixed martial arts. His story is really interesting, and I was talking about this a few weeks ago on this podcast, where I was saying we're seeing this evolution, this change now within mixed martial arts, where a lot of these guys who were trying to play football for so long, or trying to go to college or trying to make it to the pros and didn't quite make it, they're making the transition to mixed martial arts, because it is one of those sports that you train for 3 or 4 years and you put your heart and soul in it. You can at least step into an octagon and see what you've got.
Especially if you're an athlete. This is always what Rogan said on his podcast. Like, could you imagine if LeBron James just had decided to just be an MMA fighter and he just trained from he was like 16? Like, he'd be fucking terrifying. Like, Rogan always said, once you start to see the other athletes start to catch on, jump over, you're going to see the sport take off. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing young guys who, maybe they thought basketball, football, hockey, whatever it was, they're starting to transition all these athletic beasts of human beings. You're starting to see the elite of the elite athletes. And once that happens, you're going to see the game of MMA just be raised. Like, the ceiling is so much higher than where we are.
Yeah.
So much higher.
So much. And that's the thing. And that's to circle it all back to AJ Fletcher. That's the thing. This guy doesn't even have a wrestling background, but in this fight, he took down Leonardo once or twice, and his takedowns, man. This kid is so fast. His technique is perfect for the double leg takedown. And I was just like, damn, this guy doesn't have a wrestling background or anything, was a football player, obviously maybe learned a few techniques from like tackling and whatnot, but still, this guy is really athletic, really good. I am so excited for AJ Fletcher. In the flying knee could not have been timed any perfect.
It was beautiful.
The perfect timing. His opponent, Leonardo, gets right up against the fence. There's nowhere for him to go. Leonardo tries to step back, hits his head, on the fence, and then he just gets his knee from hell. Perfectly timed, perfectly placed. I'm excited for AJ Fletcher in his future. This is definitely an asterisk. You got to put an asterisk by this guy's name. Remember the name, because this could be a contender one day. No pun intended.
Bilal Muhammad, remember the name?
Oh, remember the name AJ Fletcher.
Oh, they got to switch nicknames.
They switched
then.
it.
Good
okay, so I want to talk about this next fight because this was a flyweight fight. This was an awesome fight as well. Victor Altamirano versus Carlos Candelario. I really hope I'm pronouncing those right as best as I can. This was back and forth. I thought Carlos was going to win after the first round pretty easily, and then Victor comes back in the second, and then comes back in the third and completely outstrikes, out pressures Carlos. He was getting him up against the fence, dirty boxing, putting together combinations, and I was so impressed with the heart of Altamin.
Yep.
I'm just going to go with Victor.
There
Sorry.
you go. Good call.
I'm feeling a little weird today. But, it was a great fight. It was a split decision, and
both guys got
contracts.
That's what I was going to say.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I saw that on the card last night. They showed that, a couple of these guys got contracts. A couple of the losers did. Yep. And I don't want to say losers. That sounds rude, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, they lost.
They lost.
Mm-hmm. And then the Brito fight was really good. Unfortunate eye poke, but I had Brito winning that fight. Diego Lopez, though, a lot of heart. This guy was trying to throw up submission after submission after submission. It was really impressive how Brito was able to escape all those dangerous positions. That was also another great fight. Brito got a contract. And then the heavyweight fight, obviously the first round knockout by Azamat. Insane. But
you knew this guy was going to win just based on his name.
Oh, right. And the fact that he was 9-0 before coming into this one.
Yeah.
You knew he was getting a contract too.
Yeah, that guy was getting paid.
But yeah, no, that Contender Series, episode 1, season 5, fantastic. Cannot wait for next Tuesday.
I'm glad. I'm going to get into it. I think the Ultimate Fighter kind of ruined all extra activities from like the UFC, if that makes sense. This season, so I tried to go through and actually watch the Ultimate Fighter, like all of the episodes, and the fights were good, but the coaches are so fucking corny, boring. And like the beef is so like, they just try to make it seem so much worse than it is. It's trying so hard to be controversial, and you're like, look, they just don't. They're not those guys.
Yeah. Like
I would rather you just focus on the fights instead of like, oh, we have fun pranks that make each other kind of mad. It's like, What is this? The Good Brothers? You guys are just roommates that don't like each other?
Well, and that's kind of the thing, too. I mean, like, even when you watch those interviews on ESPN and they're with each other, they're like smiling, like they're kind of friends, but they kind of want to fuck each other up kind of thing.
Yeah, we all have a friend that we would fight in a heartbeat.
And it's just like, it's such a weird kind of like dynamic between those two, because I don't know if they're like friends or they hate each other. It's weird.
Plus, they just seem like two of the nicest dudes ever. So it's like, it's hard for me to be like, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call Brian Ortega the nicest guy ever.
He seems like a nice guy.
No.
He seems very chill.
No. Do you know where he grew up? Do you know what he's about?
He's from in Stockton.
Yeah,
Compton,
do you not know what he did to Korean Zombies Park or whatever?
Yeah, he slapped him.
Yeah.
He just doesn't like to be disrespected.
Nice
well, I don't know. We don't know that. Yeah, I like to believe.
A scary man.
Well, the man can snap your leg whenever he feels like it.
Yeah.
So.
That's scary to me.
That's pretty terrifying. Yeah. Mason, what do we got for MMA news?
Well, I mean, do you have anything?
I mean, I guess
we do have the boxing thing.
We have a little bit of,
as much as I don't really care.
We're just going to tell you, we're not going to watch.
We're not going to watch this. No.
But so Vitor Belfort, I think Oscar De La Hoya fell out of their boxing fight.
Imagine that.
Evander Holyfield is stepping up to fight Vitor Belfort in a boxing match.
Okay.
Are you like, we're not going to watch it, but does it interest you even in the slightest?
No.
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 Yeah,
like literally no. Like I don't care who wins. I have a pretty good idea who's going to win.
They should make an old man boxing fight.
I'm over boxing.
Like a 45 and older belt.
Sure.
Would that make it more interesting if they were fighting for a real... It's like if Vitor had to fight Mike Tyson next for the strap, would you be interested? Or is there just nothing boxing can do to reel you back in?
I mean, yeah, I'd probably watch that.
Would you? Okay. So there has to be something.
Why is it? You throw a belt in it and you're
it just makes it a little bit more interesting.
The old man sport.
Yeah.
You know? It's like the 3-on-3 for NBA.
Exactly. It'd be great. Even though I love basketball, I don't watch the 3-on-3.
Well, yeah. A lot of people do, though.
I get it.
Balls was hot.
Was that the right one you wanted? Which one were you trying to hit there? Hey, there you go. Yeah, I get it. I can't do it. It's really boring for me. If you like boxing, good for you. Don't watch this. I think it's a Triller card, too, so there's like 37 concerts.
Okay, fuck that. I'm definitely not watching it.
Yeah, I think the undercard has Silver and Ortiz, too.
Oh, wow.
Does that do anything for you?
No.
You're a boxing hater.
I am. At this point, I've had my boxing fix for the next 5 years.
Did the Jake Paul thing ruin it for you?
Yeah, it's just, boxing is just not as entertaining to me because, I don't know, mixed martial arts, I watch prelims.
Yeah.
I don't even like watching the main card for boxing. How fucking crazy is that?
I do feel bad, especially for like the boxing fight companions, because it's like,
we know
it's
nothing.
It's so fucking boring.
Yeah. Like, we know nothing. Like, we have to come in for like our MMA companions, you know, which is the only ones we're going to do now. It was made abundantly clear.
Yeah, we couldn't do another one.
That boxing, we are not going to do another boxing one, which is A-okay with me. I'm totally fine with it. But, like, we have to have things prepared for the boxing to talk about. The MMA one, we can just come in, talk about MMA, talk about whatever else. But boxing, there's so much bullshit, so much time in between fights. That's what I love about the UFC and Dana White is, like, you can actually get the fights going, man.
Dana fucking churns that shit out. Last night's card, 2.5 hours.
Exactly.
That's fucking beautiful.
Yes.
I don't need to be, like, the Jake Paul card lasted fucking damn near 4 hours.
Yeah, no, because they told you it was going to start at 5, didn't start till 5:30, and then we didn't get out of here till 9:30.
Yeah, it was too fucking long. And
4.5 hours.
Let's just be honest. Why do you need 40 minutes in between your fights?
I know, it's so stupid. Well, think about this. We didn't even do the fight companion for the first fight, and that fight companion lasted 3.5 hours.
Yeah, and we missed the terrible Tommy Fury fight, which, you know, no disrespect to Tommy Fury, but the dude he was fighting
was a tomato can.
He was a random guy they found on the street who hadn't fought since 2019, and they're like, "Oh, don't you want to see?"
No, it was 2016.
Was it longer?
Yeah, that guy took 4 years off. Yeah, 4 or 5 years off. Yeah.
Like, and now you're like, "Oh, Tommy Fury, Jake Paul, that's what's coming." Who gives a shit? If you watched Tommy Fury fight, were you like, can't wait to see him fight Jake Paul?
I mean, it is smart though if Jake does take that fight, because you know that's going to be a big fight over you know, with the gypsies. So
I don't care,
because you know his brother's a gypsy.
Yeah, his brother's the gypsy,
the gypsy king,
the king gypsy,
the king gypsy, the king of the gypsies.
I think that sounds
king.
I like King Gypsies. King Gypsy sounds better, but it sounds also more offensive. So it's like King of the Gypsies. It sounds.
Can you say of the? Is that technically okay? How do we do this?
So I think King Gypsy sounds the best.
Okay.
And it also.
What does he call himself? King of or
is it the King? You know what?
It's so confusing.
Tyson Fury. We're gonna figure this out right now. You know, let's see what his nickname is to get this out of the way.
But nonetheless, you know, as far as any other MMA news, I really don't have much.
Gypsy King.
The Gypsy King.
So,
okay, so yeah, Gypsy King.
That makes total sense. Yep. Yeah, not a lot for MMA news, but the boxing thing still fucking pisses me off.
Yeah,
are you going to watch the Wilder Fury fight at least?
Oh, fuck yeah, October 9th. Yeah, I'm going to go to
watch the main event.
And bet it.
Yeah. Just the main event, though.
Well, yeah, because there's a UFC fight card that night.
Yeah, so fuck it. Yeah.
So I'll watch that, and then I'll probably, by the time that card's over, hopefully the main event will be close, but I'm not watching all those boxing fights. But I'll watch the main event.
Can boxing ever get back to the point that it was in like the late 90s?
No, never. Because of mixed martial arts.
So that's it. So MMA, really you think MMA killed it? I don't want to say killed it, but at least siphoned off most of them.
Well, it's a lot of like rich people money now.
Well, so yeah, like, that's why you see Dave Chappelle always there. Like, it's really more of like a social status thing to go to a boxing fight.
Boxing's more like social, and there's more big money behind it. But as far as competition and excitement, mixed martial arts is definitely where it's at.
Well, if they all fought each other and there was one giant division, I'm sure the fights would be better. So, fuck boxing.
It's too confusing.
This is why this is the church of MMA, and this is why we just crushed another episode. Mason,
we talked about boxing for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why.
Well, you know, content.
It is what it is.
Who the fuck is that guy?
You just don't.
It is what it is.
There we go. The fucking, you're all over on the soundboard
today. All right. Well, that is it for the Church of MMA podcast. This is episode 89, Brunson versus Till recap. Follow us on social media. As you guys know where to find us at the Church of MMA. You can go to thechurchofmma.com. You can find everything you need to know. Be sure to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching and listening. The Church of MMA podcast. My name is Mason Knight.
I'm Gideon DeMars.
And until next time.
Peace.